bed bugs. Bed bug mattresses in the back dumpster. What do you think they're scattering out as they sit right on Heckman Street? They can't take the dumpster back because it's partial load. What happened?
I don't know. I mean, I'd ask you where you're getting your information from, I believe.
I fly my drone over there. You see what's going on?
You see bed bugs with your drone?
No, I'm saying,
Right.
the truck is designed to pick up bed bug mattresses.
Right.
If they're out picking up bed bug mattresses and parking in DPW lot, half loaded. To the half loaded mattresses,
No, I don't disagree. I was really asking if you
why aren't
see.
you taking it right over and getting rid of it right away? I mean, why do we even have this, why do we even have this $184,000 haul truck when we're not even using it anymore? They're picking them up by hand off the streets.
Mr. Feely, I will talk to the DPW tomorrow and get an answer for you. Will that suffice? If I talk to them tomorrow and get back to you?
Use it or lose it. Well, it has value.
No, I'd like to say something on that. I feel they are using it. I'll give you, for instance, down on Stockton and Mercer Street, there was a huge pile of garbage. I mean, it piled up really high. I called the supervisor. He called me back and he said, Mark, that place is infested with bed bugs. And he says the DPW will not touch it, okay? He said, I'll get down and look at it. He called me back up. He says, we're sending the truck right down there and clean it up. And they did use it for that, okay? Meanwhile, I told them that there was a company there at the same time. There was a company there same time, and they put foil or plastic all over, and they turned the temperature up sky high because it was a bed bug company that came in and took care of it. And but I see them. I see it used. They usually, I always see it basically on a Wednesday, because that's when they're driving around on a Wednesday. And for furniture and whatever, that's their day that they pick stuff up. But I think they are using it, you know, more than people realize. And I'll stick behind that. I think we need it, and I think it's utilized, and I think it's a good piece of equipment that we can use. So that's how I feel. I mean, you have your opinion, I have my opinion, but I'm only telling you how I feel.
They have attachments that goes in front of the dump truck with the claw.
Yep.
And puts it right in the back of the bed.
Yeah, but we have this one now. Okay, so what can we say? What can I say?
I think the last report we had with regard to the DPW was that they use it once a week, so that would be 4 times. Yeah, Fridays. Okay. I do remember seeing that in one of the reports. I will, however, get you your answers tomorrow. Okay. Is that all, Allison?
Yeah, thank you. That's all.
Is there anyone else?
I don't talk to them.
Please, go for it.
Dustin Pierce, 116 Grave Street. The Agway property, the tarp has ripped off and is now folded on both sides.
It's not ours.
They paid for it, the tarp. I understand that it's not ours, but it came out of our money, supposedly.
We'll never pay for it again.
But here's the issue I have now. If any of those ties let go, it's coming across now, and it's going to be a safety hazard to anybody coming down that street.
I don't disagree, and I would encourage you to call the mayor's office first thing tomorrow morning, 8:30 in the morning.
Well, the mayor,
And if he doesn't answer at 8:30, I call at 8:35. If he doesn't answer at 8:35, call at 8:40. That's all I can
Okay,
Bulldozer.
bring that up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're giving twos out.
Do you want to talk again, Joe?
I'll want to talk again if he's talking again.
I just want to say, over the weekend, I saw that Miss Jewel Gonzalez wasn't present tonight, but I went down with Mr. Pat and myself, and I'll tell you, it was something, 50 years of following wrestling, I've never seen anything like that down there, and I'll tell you, she brings a lot of pride to the town what that young lady accomplished. I said to the guys that we go down with, there's nobody beating her. She's ranked 15th in the country, and she's working out with the Olympic team now, and something we're really proud of, something I've never seen in my life down there in all the years. So thanks for, recognizing her when she comes in, and Mr. Pat will say the same thing, right, Mr. Pat?
Nope.
Okay.
She also plays with softball.
So you have something to say about that, Mr. Kleiner?
No idea.
She also plays with softball team.
Okay.
Okay. Is there no more public petitions? We can move forward to council open time. Councilman Lewis.
Yes, I just have one thing. I think we should, along with repealing the one we did tonight, I think we should repeal the kiosk machines. The kiosk machines aren't doing us any good at all for the town. It was a waste of $40,000 plus whatever it cost to get it fixed. The kiosk machine is still down at Noto's lot. We asked to move to Market Street, it hasn't been moved there. Plus, the police do not monitor the lots anyway. So why do we have it? That's how I feel. I just wanted to bring that out, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Folks, I would only ask that you allow council to speak without clapping or booing or jumping. Councilman Lutz, I had asked Council Leonard to go ahead and place that on the next. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Councilman Davis.
Just two small things. Just a reminder, this weekend is daylight savings time. It's already upon us, so as we get into the spring season and it starts to get warmer, even though it's hard to believe with the snow on the ground, kids will be out later. Just a reminder to keep your eyes open, especially later in the evening, because they do love to play, and we want to make sure that we're safe in our community. So just a thank you to DPW for doing such a great job getting the streets plowed in this last snowstorm. It was a late one, but by the time that most of us woke up, everything was very clear, so kudos to them and their diligence. That's all, Council President.
Great job. Thanks, Councilman. Councilwoman?
Yes, couple things. I had a meeting last week with Mary Jo Harris, who I see is in the audience. We spoke about several programs. One, and it'll have to do with something we're going to talk about next. One thing we did talk about, and it's going to play on some of the things mentioned tonight, was I asked Councilman Davis to participate with me. We are going to go see Hackettstown and Washington Borough and talk to them about their bid programs. It's something actually the both of us listened to while we were at the League of Municipalities. I had a little write-up about it. I honestly didn't know much about it as a program, so I figured the best thing I could do was sit down with two communities that have implemented it to hear the good, the bad, the ugly. Perhaps that's a better alternative since we're not getting what we need out of their urban enterprise designation. New businesses benefit from it. Everything they purchase, they don't pay taxes on. But as a whole, there's just not a whole lot of benefit, and perhaps the bid will be something better. I also attended the Warren County Governing Officials Association. For those that don't know, it's a bipartisan group of all 22 towns in Warren County. So I've been representing Phillipsburg there, but it is open to everyone to attend. So I had some excellent information and statistics, being we have not had a police report in a really long time. Some of these statistics are staggering, so I'm going to share them. First, I'll come back to that. So some of the statistics. The categories they examined: mental health, employment, transit access, housing, health insurance. They examined the state of New Jersey, Warren County as a whole, and the municipalities. So the ones I noticed specifically: poverty. The state average for poverty in New Jersey is 10.9%. The town of Phillipsburg is 19.6%. 32% of all families meet the United Way ALICE criteria. If you're not familiar with the ALICE report, you should be. It very well, I've read the entire thing. It outlines all the key metrics that we're talking about in this report, and you will learn a lot about this community if you read that report. So I highly recommend anyone who hasn't, you look into that. Again, it's called the ALICE report. You can find it online. Kudos to the Board of Education. We are better than the state average for high school graduates by 2%. So that was a significant improvement. What was surprising, in Warren County, now, we all had the same comment. We all feel pretty comfy here in Warren County. It's, by New Jersey standards, a very affordable county by New Jersey standards. 94% of the people in this county have health care. And it was surprising to learn Phillipsburg is 92% have health care. That surprised me. I thought that was actually quite a positive. Key concerns in Phillipsburg, this shouldn't be a surprise, was healthy food at a good price. That was one of the key concerns Phillipsburg people were reporting, that they could get healthy food. And it was noted by several residents that it was the 8 Hearts closing causing that. Half this population is concerned with jobs. They cannot find local jobs. Safety. I was really disheartened to hear some of the statistics on crime because I was not aware of them. Our depression rate in this county is higher than the state average. The drug overdoses were significantly higher in Warren County than the rest of the state, which was a surprise. It was 484 out of 100,000 versus 428. Death by overdose is over 5% higher than the rest of the state. I had no idea. Also, let's brief group that passed. Domestic abuse. 3 of the top towns are in Warren County for domestic abuse in the state of New Jersey. Washington was 23rd out of that 25. Washington Borough was 11. Phillipsburg was 3. 3rd in the state of New Jersey for domestic abuse. This is based on people that actually report it. Meeting with Mary Jo, we had a very lengthy discussion because I couldn't tell you where it's at, and she helped me understand that. I had about 24 calls about a playground getting moved. It's not on the agenda, so I'll pretend I don't know anything about it, but I do because people called about it. It's that area. That is the area where we have all the crime. That's the area where all the domestic abuse is coming from. The last thing we need to do is take away parks and recreation from that downtown area. The largest part, I believe the number was 80%. Mary Jo, was it 80%?
80% of what?
That domestic call was coming out?
Oh, I wouldn't be able to confirm that.
I'm pretty sure it was about 80%. It was all coming in one key location, and that's the downtown area, which is Sickridge, South Main, Mercer, going back to Delaware River Park, all clustered in that area. So, the question came up, why is economic development so important to human health? And the answers were pretty simple. When people don't have money, they can't buy healthy food and they can't make healthy decisions. So when we look at all these metrics, it's important to understand them, and I'm going to turn this over to the clerk's office so she has it. And we can distribute this report should anybody want to read it. So I'm not making this up. Here it is. It was called the Community Voice Survey. As well as the county library is looking for volunteers. If anyone is interested in volunteering for the Warren County Health Department in partnership with the Warren County Department of Public Safety. Join us for coffee, tea, late continental breakfast for emergency preparedness training. They are looking for volunteers for that. And I have information on that. It will be held April 6th at the Stewartsville County Library, if anyone is interested. You do have to RSVP. I'll leave that information here for anyone that's interested. That is all I have.
Wow.
Yeah.
Council Vice President.
Thank you. I might be long, but I will make it to points. First and foremost, great job by all of, not just our DPW workers, but all of our town workers of holding things together during these recent storms, wires down, power outages, etc. It's just not our DPW, it's everybody inside Freeman School and beyond that extend our infrastructure to make it work the way it does. And obviously, all of our first responders, a big thank you to that. My week was a little rough, and I will just speak on a personal basis and not on the council as a whole. It first started earlier in the week when I did not attend the subcommittee meeting that I said after Mayor Ellis had put out on Facebook releases from the executive session. And what else came on that famous Facebook release of non-truths that was from there. I then immediately called the chief of police and told him I will not be part of the subcommittee because I cannot be part of anything going forward with this man. I then called Councilman Lutz to let him know my feelings as well, and I told him that I would think about it. He did some encouraging. I did attend the first meeting to make sure it was on point. All of this can be, if you wish to open any emails between February 27th and 28th, please do so. You'll see my full explanation in there to the mayor himself. I went to that first meeting and tried to keep everything, do my best to try to keep everything on track, because we really do want the police out of there. We want them to temporary movement out. I mean, I'm looking at minutes from a May 23rd, 2017 meeting, which I was in attendance, and it talks about the former councilman pleading with the mayor to get them out of Freeman School. Get them, I put Mr. Minor on my mind, because get them out of where they're at now, do something with them, where they're talking about the county college. Mr. Minor actually even mentioned during that meeting that Freeman School would be a good option. The mayor then asked Mr. Minor, of course, do you know when it was built? Actually quizzing a citizen that got up and asked a question from his heart. He had to be on jeopardy at that point in time. But Mr. Minor said he didn't, and the mayor's words at that point in time, Mayor Ellis stated it was built at the turn of the century. It was filled with asbestos and has no elevator. ADA laws today wouldn't pass. There is no air. We looked at it. We are on the verge of a decision any time now. That was his answer. I was in attendance at that meeting. I remember it vividly. That was the same meeting that he said he was working with the Allentown Mayor Pulaski, where he said he visited Mayor Pulaski and he had discussions regarding improvements in Allentown, which Allentown is not having a lot of improvements of what the redevelopment they're doing. And ideas for Phillipsburg, like having an Amtrak come in and follow the model Allentown has, and is currently using the revitalization of the town. I learned a great deal from Mayor Pulaski during this meeting, and I look forward to working with him again. We continued as off of the subcommittee email, and I did tell our counselor, our town engineer, and Councilman Lutz that I would not be in attendance for the second meeting. I was at work myself. It was an NHL game that day. Throughout this week, I've been getting lambasted by the mayor. This is what Councilman Lutz was saying about what goes on behind scenes. Well, sort of like you're getting a little Penn and Teller out of me here because I had a rough week, and you're going to hear some of the stuff that goes behind the scenes. So I get lambasted on that email, questioning my loyalty to the town, my passion for the town, why I even ran for council, things of that nature. I gave him one response, again, 28 February, if you wish to do that. That took up a majority of the week. In addition, what was running in the background was the 248 special use permits, which we had exhaustively tried to just, and let it be known, I don't think anyone on this panel did not want that celebration, which started in Easton and went over to Phillipsburg. Nobody was ever against that. And our strongest component was our clerk. Basically making sure the legalities of that event, we had it down pat. We are back. Councilwoman said we're number 3 in the state, and that's it. We're number 3 in the state, I think, in just liability of just what goes on. That's why earlier I mentioned before about statewide management's head explodes every time we do something here. And it falls on our council, because sooner or later we have to approve or disapprove or hear about lawsuits. That's all we seem to be doing. So all we wanted to do was really make sure everything was tight on this and everybody go ahead and have a good time. Well, it was disregarded. A very, very well-written email, a passionate plea to the mayor from our clerk, stating that it's also a lot of responsibility falls on her part and the reputation of what goes on in her office. But it was just went ahead and done. You know why? Because we're going to have fun and nobody gives a shit. And that's what we're going to do. And that's what happened. In addition, the Phillipsburg Joint Toll Bridge Commission warned about crossing that bridge, impeding traffic. Because you know, without a special use permit, there's no traffic plan. There's no police, a little involvement here and there, no fire. It all goes because the responsibility of our people that protect us, our emergency management personnel and police personnel, they are out of it now because the special use permit actually dictates that. By not having it, it tosses it aside. So we went ahead across the bridge. So I had to hear it from folks that I have association with the Bridge Commission. We now are a river town looking for redevelopment that pissed off, or that have made them just question kind of things we were doing here. And that goes right into the CBS News highlight regarding the lottery winner. And that went as far as our mayor had taken that interview, taken it down at the Free Bridge and talked about Phillipsburg and our redevelopment, because as told us in email, I gave you the dates, was we were told that this was about, because I questioned why you would not turn this over to the Powhatan Township and give them their 15-minute of fame. Little, you know, Powhatan, that community would deserve that. You know, in an election year, as was talked by Mr. Boyce, how people make this political, well, that's it. It is political. Yes, it is a political year. And you know why State Freedom Roy's Tiger attacked him? You know why? Because he's a tiger. Can't help it. Well, we're all elected officials, and we all have affiliations, and it is a political year. And you're going to see some of that. Not from me. I'm not running. So I don't have to worry about it. But you saw it this weekend. And it came at the behest of 1,000 phone calls from Powhatan residents saying, what the hell are you guys doing over there? And I had to apologize on behalf of the officers of the mayor and council, which I did. At that point, I then get lambasted and questioned by the mayor, and so did Freeholder Kern, who actually shared it, calling him Mr. Kern or making a few pop shots at him. So now we've just infuriated our freshman freeholder who oversees the county and a lot of our budgets. So we're having a good week, aren't we? Right, we're having a really good week. In addition to that, during that, I had to apologize to a young lady on Facebook regarding the mayor taking some shots at her, and in addition to Mayor Kern, which he then replied back to me. And then at that point he brought into question myself, saying I am probably now, which congratulations, you are now second place. I am probably the worst politician in the council in Phillipsburg. I'll wear it, I don't care. That's why I'm up here. That's why I was elected. I speak from the heart, speak from the street. So that's what it is. We do visit people. He then continued to take shots at my early state police career, disciplines, serving alcohol to minors, drug and alcohol involvement, etc. I don't care. I didn't respond. I'm in public office. You want to write that about me, that's fine. I don't react. He was upset because he made an abomination of the English language, and actually while he was offending the Powhatan residents, he was offending them in some type of vernacular in English I've never seen before. And I think you all know what I'm talking about. Now we move on. Tonight we talked about the landlord issue, and I'm just going to end with this. I feel sorry. My heart goes out to everybody that comes up here, discusses and gives us, and I know you know, when you address the council president, the answer you're going to get is, you got to call the mayor on that. But you got to be heard, because you're not getting return phone calls, you're not getting return emails, you're not getting anything. You know why? Because we don't. Councilwoman DiGirolamo made that perfectly clear 2 weeks ago. on how embarrassing it is that for us to walk around here and people ask us questions and we don't have it. Maybe it's by design. Maybe it's by design we're not getting information to look, us look foolish. To work the political angle of poor me, woe's me, because it is a political season. And we do have primaries coming up. I encourage everybody, if you are registered to vote, to get out there and be heard, especially in this town. I'm not telling you how to vote. Actually, we have 2 chairmen on both sides of the party up here at this dais. I encourage everyone to go see them, talk to them. Understand and get out there. You have to do it. But this landlord issue, if we had someone standing on a soapbox screaming to the hills, screaming, not in my town, you're not coming here and doing this, doesn't get done. You actually have, our mayor is encouraging this man. And this guy is supporting him because there's no resistance. So if you want that, that's fine. You can say it to us all the time. Whatever, get it off your chest. But unfortunately, the council president gives the best answer he can. And that we are, the answers must go through that man and that office. So please call every 5 minutes or stop up and see him. Create a line. Get some answers. Because if you get any, please let us know, because we're not getting them. I thank you for letting me have my diatribe. I wanted to open the curtain a little bit and let you peek behind it and see what goes on. And I bet you that most of us up here will tell you that's just the tip of the iceberg. Thank you, Council President, and thank you for listening to me.
You're welcome. First place.
I'm first place now.
I don't know how to follow that up. I have some things. Before I get into what I have here, I would be remiss if I did not recognize 2 very special occasions this week. One, Miss Anne Marie Fleming is celebrating her birthday. Where is she?
She's back there.
Miss Fleming,
Yes.
happy birthday.
Can we clap?
Thank you.
Yes, we can.
To see my
Yes,
son.
she's standing.
God bless you. I'm not gonna answer. Mr. Lutz wants to know, Councilman Lutz would like
Are
to
you
know if they're
standing up
right
yet?
now.
Oh.
If you want to come up front and tell him, I'll let you.
Frank, no.
I'll be
Okay.
teasing, I hope you
Bobby, we
know.
have security for a reason.
The second is, we also had a birthday for our clerk, Vicki Kleiner. As well.
One more year close to retirement, baby.
So, I gotta tell you, when I ran for council, those are the moments that I live for, because I ran on knowing my community and loving my community, and I do. I think most of you who know me know this already. I'm extremely passionate about my community. As a matter of fact, listening to Councilman McVeigh gave me the chills. Listening to the report given by Councilwoman DiGirolamo made me extremely sad. I grew up in that area.
I live in that area.
I know, Councilman. I grew up on Brainerd Street, and it leads me to my neck. The mayor did say he wanted to place that park equipment somewhere, and I do know that Delaware River Park has been deemed.
You can't do it.
Yeah, I know we can't put it there. I know that we can't because the park's no longer being used because it's been deemed condemned. But, it's been deemed condemned because it's a landfill, right? So, if he wants to move the equipment, I would ask the council if perhaps we can write him a letter. We have, the children downtown get lost, and that's no joke. I saw a lot of posts about we should put it in the Hillcrest area. I got to tell you, folks. I'm lucky enough to live on the hill today. It is that tight-knit community. Can't lie. But the children downtown get lost, and we heard that tonight, and we see it. We see it when we ride down there. There's an empty park There was a pocket park on Brainerd Street that was frequented many times when I was a kid. There's a lot of children that live downtown. A lot of children that live right down there on Brainerd Street. I'd like to see the mayor put that park equipment there. You know, perhaps it's something this council can write to the mayor and ask him to do. You know, you want to know why it's so bad. Jesus, the gutter is still hanging off of 14 Brainerd. I know, because I just drove down there again today. Nobody's doing anything. We tagged a 90-year-old man who lives 2 doors from a woman that has issues with the mayor. And I don't know why they were down there, but we tagged this 90-year-old man for garbage that you can't even see from the street. He didn't put it there, but it was dumped there. It's not DPW's problem. It's not that 90-year-old man's problem. But why did we cite him? Why aren't we citing the slumlord that I just showed you tonight? Why aren't we citing the guy with the gutter that's hanging off? We're not talking about deplorable conditions. You know, we talk about revitalizing Union Square. Jesus Christ, have you guys been down Brainerd Street? Have you been down Mercer Street? How about revitalizing the rest of the town before we talk about revitalizing Union Square?
Yep.
We talk about, you know, I know there were some comments made here about our police, but you know, our police got one of the toughest damn jobs on the planet. And I say that because the domestic violence rate, how many calls are there? How many cops have we had? 37.
There's a lot of calls. 37 dispersed throughout this entire community. And they do a damn good job. That's a lot of calls. I had no idea.
That breaks my heart here, quite frankly. It really does. You know, I am a happily married man with 4 children, and I can't imagine anyone treating their significant other, their wife, their husband. It breaks my heart. So yeah, there's economic factors behind this. There's also a quality of life issue, and the quality of life issue sucks in this town. You know, I could put colorful language on it, but it just sucks. Sorry. Point blank, it does. And if you think otherwise, you're living in a snow globe with unicorns and glitter, because it's not pretty. It is that bad. We ran, and when we ran, we said we wanted to fix things, and like Councilman McVeigh had said, Council Vice President McVeigh had said, and Councilwoman DiGirolamo had said, Councilman Lutz had said, we meet resistance. Today I had the opportunity to meet with the mayor. I snuck upstairs after stealing a key fob, and I got to hear the tail end of an interview with 39 News where he was bashing Councilman McVeigh. I didn't intrude, I didn't walk in, I didn't say anything. I did call the reporter afterwards, and I would like for her to sit with the rest of council to get that story. I waited till they were done, and then I went in and I spoke with the mayor. And it's interesting because one-on-one, he'll tell you anything you want to hear, and when he leaves, something else happens. But I will say, when we met, he did admit to misrepresenting the facts on his Facebook page. So I said, why didn't you print a retraction? And he said to me, well, how do you print a retraction? I don't know that he's writing this stuff. I truly believe that in some cases when the grammar is correct and you know what we see out there, I think somebody else is doing it for him because he had no idea how to print a retraction on Facebook. I take this job extremely serious. You guys should too. You voted for us. You didn't vote for this circus. This is ridiculous. I thought when we got in, everything would settle down, we'd be able to work together. It's not happening. Let's talk about the police department move. I've got a number of calls this week about the bond ordinance, the price. Everyone's talking about the best scenario, the best case scenario. Everybody's saying the best case scenario is the armory. I want people to understand something. We move the armory. If we move to the armory, we're only moving the police department. We're not moving the municipal employees. We're not moving our courts back. So we're still spending money for Alpha to utilize to utilize courts. We are still spending money. As a matter of fact, we just passed a bill for utilities at $12,000 per quarter at Freeman, which Councilman McVeigh stated was full of asbestos and built at the turn of the century. It's going to cost us 4.2 million, right? 4.5 estimated, but 4.2 was when the bids came in to move to the Armory. What do we do with Corliss Avenue? Because we need to remediate Corliss Avenue. And this is the part no one's talking about. The hidden cost, no one has even brought up. We have to God bless you. We have to remediate Corliss Avenue at $1.7 million. Not my figure, mayor's figure. He pushed it out. $1.79 million. I can't bond that. This council can't bond that. That needs to be remediated. It needs to be remediated before we can sell it. God bless you.
Thank you.
So we're already $2 million behind before we even start if we don't go back to Corliss Avenue. That's $6 million. The rough estimates we received, including that 1.79, was 4.5. So we're looking at close to $8 to $9 million approximately to move the police to the Armory and the municipal employees back to Corliss. The mayor did say today he disagreed with me. He disagrees that he thinks the police should be on this side of the highway. Well, I don't have an opinion on that. Here's my opinion. If it's cheaper to stay at Corliss, I'm going to fight that we stay at Corliss. If it's cheaper to go to the Armory, then I'm going to go to the Armory. Whatever is cheaper and better for the taxpayers, because that's what it's about. It's not about me. It's not about my ego. It's not about the chief of police. It's about everybody's ego. Maybe his, maybe the mayor's. It's about what's best for this town. People are being left behind. That Facebook post, and it still irks me to this day, because I am angry that he had misrepresented the fact that council wanted to put a trailer park in the ball field. It was never said, it was never stated, and when, as soon as those minutes are ready to go, I'm ready to rock and release them. But that I want people to keep in mind that those are real scenarios. Yes, will we have to pay for trailers for the police until we can get Corliss Avenue done, if that's the route we go? Sure. He says, well, what if it's $500,000? Then we're 1.5 million. So we still owe $2 million. We're still $2 million behind the 8 ball. It doesn't make sense. The math, the logic. It's only because someone wants to go to that building and that's it. We didn't flip a coin and say, yeah. I don't care whose idea it was, it's been 3 years. We got that letter, we acted. They're moving. They're moving. It's whatever the best case scenario is. Last few, I apologize. I also would like to say thank you to the DPW for everything they've done. Fantastic job.
God bless you.
God bless you. Fantastic job. They didn't do my driveway, so they got points for that. And please don't your husband didn't do my driveway. I thought we were doing private property. I'm teasing him. I would like to discuss the garbage at the work session. I do believe that we should stop placing garbage bags without garbage cans covered on the side of the street. I think it's disgusting. I saw leakage coming from a lot of the garbage bags, and you see a lot of trash getting ripped open by the cats, and then it's a train wreck.
It's supposed to be overnight, though.
Well, it does happen overnight.
24
Councilwoman.
hours.
You know, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that, but we can make them put it in a garbage can. The Warren Reporter, can somebody please call them and tell them to stop throwing that paper all over this town on the windiest day of the year? Every street in Phillipsburg was covered in the Warren Reporter. They're just throwing it out their windows.
They're not supposed to do that, it's littering.
Thanks, Ray.
If one of the people at the top says that was littering.
Ray, I don't disagree.
I'm gonna give you a petition when we leave here, I want you to run for council. Listen,
These officers make us say he's getting a ticket for littering. Those folks be coming out of their cars and put them on the porch, not
you
throwing
need
them.
to see Mr. Davis at the end of this meeting and get a petition to run for council.
That is littering if they do
Or
that.
Councilwoman Deidre. Listen, folks, I don't like sitting up here bitching, and I'm hoping within the next few months, I don't have to, because I'm hoping for progress. May not be the progress you want, but it's the progress that's gonna happen one way or the other. Elections have consequences. Let's move forward. We have, one motion.
So moved.
Yes, I motion to approve the raffle.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deidre?
Yes.
Councilman Little?
Yes,
Council Vice President McFetti?
Yes.
Council President Colbert?
so moved.
Yep. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Oh, yeah.